ET channeling is a form of communication whereby an ET or an alleged ET speaks to an individual who is normally in some altered state of consciousness. Often this communication is recorded or transcribed. The field is a veritable minefield. Some people may have some form of mental illness and are channeling a component of themselves. Others may be channeling something that is pretending to be something that it isn't. That leaves a pool of individuals who may be channeling ETs. The next problem is, how do you know if the information received is truth, or whether it's some form of disinformation? Let's look at a practical example. Consider cattle mutilations. Here animals, often cattle, are found dead, bloodless, mutilated, with areas of their body removed with surgical precision. Let's examine what the popular Ra material says about cattle mutilations. I am Ra. The greater part of your so-called mutilations take place according to the ways of your second density beings which feed upon carrion. A portion of these so-called mutilations are those which are of what you may call multidimensional type, a thought form construct using various parts in order to have a life and being in third density. Then someone asks Ra another question. It has just occurred to me that parts removed in cat mutilations are the same every time, and I just wondered if this was related to the energy centres and why they were important if that was so. I am Ra. This is basically correct, if you may understand that there is a link between energy centres and various thought forms. Thus the fears of the mass consciousness create the climate for the concentration upon the removal of bodily parts which symbolise areas of concern or fear in the mass consciousness. There are two main things I notice about this channeling and many others like it. It's very new agey and otherworldly in its communication style. Many people will find this very seductive. It's also deceptive. Notice how it shifts the perpetrator of cattle mutilations away from ETs to some nebulous thought forms. All is not lost, however, because on my journey through the world of channeling, I came across the Allies of Humanity, who channeled through a man named Marshall V. N. Summers. I will now give you an example of what the Allies say about cattle mutilations. This is why many of your animals are taken. They are not simply taken to provide blood products for the interbreeding program. They are taken because these blood products themselves are highly valuable and can be traded very successfully. In technological societies such as the collectives, biological resources are extremely valuable and difficult to find in the greater community. As we have said repeatedly, your world is viewed as a biological storehouse. So while the visitors want the mineral resources of your world, they also want things that are much more elemental to the needs of life. They need water, they need oxygen, they need blood, they need the resistance factors in blood, they need plasma, they need the biological elements that constitute life and that are fundamental to life everywhere. It's quite startling how much information is packed into that commentary and how much clarity there is. No seductive New Agey style, just good old plain English. I would urge you to read the Allies of Humanity briefings, which are available free online.